So I sat down to film upcoming sneakers like I do every single Sunday, and I just thought, you know what, there's been so many sneaker releases, I just cannot bring myself to talk about more upcoming sneakers when we just have so much going on right now. So instead of doing upcoming sneakers, I decided to look back at 2020, and today I'm gonna talk about my top 10 underrated sneakers that have released this year. So how I'm defining an underrated sneaker is essentially just a shoe that hasn't garnered as much attention or hype as I think they're actually worth. So these are shoes you can potentially get for a pretty decent price, or just maybe shoes that you never even thought about before, and they may give you some really good ideas. And I thought now's a pretty damn good time with Black Friday right around the corner. You could potentially grab these at a steal. So I've got a list of 10 different sneakers. I've got 2 honorable mentions which we'll get into later in the video, but for now let's start off at the top. Number 10 on my list is the Adidas Torsion X. Right, so the Adidas Torsion X is actually a shoe that I wear on a regular basis. I might be a little bit biased towards this one because I really like this shoe. I like the way it looks, and it feels incredible on foot. So in terms of an underrated sneaker, by my definition, this is probably up there as like one of the most underrated. It has a full length boost, so the comfort on it is insane. It kind of has a Yeezy 500 look to it, especially the boost midsole, kind of the shape of it, very bulbous and round. And I just think that this shoe, whenever I chuck it on, I'm just able to have a versatile amount of fits that go with this pair of shoes. So this is definitely one that I would look out for on Black Friday if you like the look of it. And I would say just try it out, because I feel like once you try it out, you're probably gonna like it. Moving into number 9, and I've chucked in the Jordan 6 Tech Chrome. So this sneaker released fairly recently, wasn't that long ago, I think a couple of months ago, and I guess the one drawback, or the one thing that kind of makes it a little bit harder to obtain, is the fact that it is a woman's colorway, so it only comes in women's sizing, which means anything past, I think, like a size 9 UK or 9.5, it kind of cuts off. So anybody who has, you know, a size 10, 11, 12, unfortunately, you probably will not be able to find your size in this shoe. You can get the Jordan 6 Tech Chrome for a pretty decent price. It's definitely not going for anything over retail. I don't know whether there's any stores that have it for sale or on sale racks, but again, that may be something you want to look into. And every single retailer on the planet is going to have a sale on Black Friday. I definitely have a look to see if you can find this shoe. Now, in terms of the colorway, I think this is dope. It's a mix of like grays and kind of off-whites. I did a review on this as well, and I really liked it. Right, number 8 on my list, we're getting into the Jordan 1 mid territory, and specifically, I'm gonna be talking about the one that released, I think, most recently, and that is the Jordan 1 band colorway. Of course, you know the Jordan 1 band colorway from the highs. Now it's coming in a mid, and I think this is a pretty clean pair of shoes. Now, as far as where you sit on the Jordan 1 mid, either you love it or you hate it. I think there's a lot of conflicting opinions on that. However, I kind of sit in the middle. Yeah, potentially I'd probably pick a high to a mid. However, if the price is too ridiculous in terms of the disparity, which I think that's what we're kind of seeing now, high costing a lot more and the mid pretty much going for retail, yeah, I might have to slide towards the mid. However you split it, Jordan 1 mid in the band colorway is very clean. It's a classic colorway. I think it's definitely worth the amount of money that you're going to be paying for it, considering you can get it for retail. I know it has sold out. However, if you do look to the secondary market, it's definitely not that ridiculous. The number 7 spot is a little bit crazier, but just stay with me. This is the Li Ning Furious Rider. Now, specifically, I think my favorite out of the multiple different colorways that they've released is the triple white one. So that's kind of the one I'm going to be referencing in this number 7 spot. However, I have done a review on this shoe. I think I did the Vault colorway. That's a little bit of a crazier colorway. However, the shoe itself is a pretty solid pair of shoes. Even though it looks pretty damn crazy, it's probably one of the lesser of the crazy shoes that Li Ning designed. Because it is a Chinese brand, there's only a limited amount of retailers that actually sell the shoes, but if you shop around, you can definitely find it. And this is a shoe that is, I think, already on sale or potentially going to be on sale for sure in Black Friday sales. Number 6 on my list is the Air Force 1 New York versus New York. Now again, there's a lot of different Air Forces to choose from, and they all kind of look a little bit similar, but this is kind of what I would go for. This is my favorite. You can grab these for just about retail price. These released a couple months ago. I really like them. They've got a black outsole, which kind of shows through when you're walking in there. Of course, a black swoosh, and you have the NY versus NY logo at the back. This Air Force One pays homage to the different basketball courts that cross New York City. Got different Velcro patches that you can place and replace on the tongue, so I'm a sucker for things like that, and I definitely think this is a really cool one if you're looking for a clean pair of underrated Air Force Ones. Number 5 on my list, and this one just kind of blew my mind. This is the Nike Auto Max in the infrared colorway. Listen, when I did the review, this thing was $400, £350, ridiculously expensive, and I loved this shoe. However, that price tag was just way too much. I get it, it's a shoe that laces itself up and it wirelessly charges and it lights up, and you get an app to control the tightness of the laces. So I get there's a lot of tech in this shoe, and they haven't refined it to the point where they can charge a regular sneaker price for it, so I get that. But right now, you can get this shoe on sale on Nike for £150. That is way less than 50% off. And I think for the amount of tech and stuff that you're getting with this shoe, it is insane. Unfortunately, Nike sold out of my size, but I am definitely going to be hunting this shoe down in my size over this kind of Black Friday period where every brand is having a sale. I'm gonna be searching for this one. Number 4 on my list, and this one actually released over the weekend, so I haven't even got my review out yet on these, but trust me, that is coming soon. So it is the New Balance 327 Casablanca. I already have this pair of shoes in hand. In fact, I filmed the review, and let me just tell you, I fell in love with these shoes as soon as I opened the box. Right now, you can get this for a solid price. Casablanca and New Balance previously released a collaboration together, and those two different colorways, I think it was green and orange, they're reselling for a pretty decent amount. So this one isn't, and in my opinion, these are the cleaner colorways. The shoe is made up of genuine leather. It smells beautiful like real leather. It feels incredibly soft in hand. It is incredibly comfortable. If you like the New Balance 327, you are going to love this collaboration. Right, so we're into top 3 territory now. We've got 3 sneakers left on the list, but before we get into those, I do have 2 honorable mentions that I kind of want to throw in there. So the first honorable mention is the Yeezy Quantum. So this specific colorway right here, this is the one I'm talking about. This is the best colorway that is out in my opinion. Now right now they're going for a decent price. I'm not too sure if they're going to increase in value in the future and make it super hard to get them, but you know, if you've been wanting a Yeezy Quantum, or if you've never tried the Yeezy Quantum, this may be your best time to pick up a pair. Now another honorable mention, and this one I didn't want to put it in the top 10 because it's not that cheap, but I think it is pretty underrated. And that is the Nike SB Dunk Low Medicom Toy Bear Brand. This is going for a pretty decent price in terms of, if you look at the grand scheme of things in terms of dunks. So yes, you're gonna have to pay probably about double for this pair of shoes on the resale market, but if you are in the market for a pair of dunks and you haven't seen this shoe in hand, I think it is pretty damn cool. But either way, that is my honorable mentions. Let's get into the top 3. At number 3, we have the Yeezy MVN. The Yeezy MVN is actually probably one of the most limited Yeezy models that we've seen out of the entire Yeezy lineup. They've only got 4 different colorways, and all of those were pretty damn limited. And despite that, you can still get them, or most of them, at a pretty decent price tag. The black one, I think, is probably the best value because you're probably gonna wear it the most. It's just an all black, comfortable Yeezy 700, and if you look right now, they've been slowly creeping up, so I'd probably pull the trigger sooner rather than later because this is probably gonna go up in the future. Number 2 on my list, we have the Jordan 3 Red Cement. This is a clean pair of Jordan 3s in my opinion. This released in 2 different variations, the regular and the one that says CHI for Chicago on the back. I'm fine with the regular Nike Air branding on the back pull tab, so I'm gonna talk about that one. I think they're going for well below retail, so I definitely think this one is a very underrated colorway of the Jordan 3. I love the Jordan 3 model, and this is just a solid colorway. Mix that in with the price tag and you have a number 2 spot on my list. Number 1 on my list. We have made it, guys. We've made it all the way to number 1. Let's... the Yeezy 380 in the calcite glow colorway. Listen, I know this one released literally last month, but it is super clean in my opinion, and for God's sake, it glows in the dark. I literally cannot get enough of this colorway. It is by far my favorite colorway of the Yeezy 380. The Yeezy 380 in general is a solid Yeezy model. It's very comfortable. It's a sock-like fit. You've got the boost on the bottom. I think it is just a solid shoe. You mix that in with an icy white upper that glows in the dark, and you've just got an incredible number 1 spot. This one right now you can get for roughly retail price, especially if you shop around at different places and don't just hit up StockX. So if this is a shoe that you want, I would probably look at getting this sooner rather than later. I can see this one, especially around summertime, going up in value, so I'd probably look to grab this if you want it as soon as possible. There we go. That is my top 10 list with some honorable mentions. Let me know what you think of this list, guys. Of course, I'd love to know your top 10. I mean, if you can't be bothered to write it down in the comment section, I can completely understand that, but at least give me a top 5 down below. And of course, thank you so much for coming through, hanging out with me, liking the video, commenting, and of course subscribing. You know what the hell I've been sipping on. Catch you all in the next one, but until then.